Hello, everybody, and welcome to the secret history living inside my aquarium, your aquarium. That's what it is. How is everybody doing this evening? Come on in. Welcome, one and all, to the show. Come inside, come inside. You've seen me, you know what I look like. So let's take a look at the aquarium while people filter in. I finally got one of these magnet floats. I'll update the info and show you guys where you can get them online. But I got this one nice and inexpensive. It's not a pet. It's not like the actual Petco or PetSmart brand. But I did get it at a Petco in person, and then I checked online, and I was like, "Oh, why didn't I buy it online?" So, but these are handy. Like this actually, even through the extra thick glass here, it's doing a really good job. So, yeah. Uh, I just, I wanted to start this video off because we're going to be talking about some not so happy stuff downstairs. I mean, it's gone and done now. Well, I gone and done it now. Oh, we have a new baby Corridora. I swear, the panda cories, they just reproduce and there's just a new baby. Uh, I don't know where these eggs are coming from, where they're hiding. Like, I'm not finding cories that are 2 millimeters. I only see new cories that are like, you know, like this guy showed up in the tank a month ago, and then I just saw like a brand new baby Cory, the panda Corys. So I don't know. It's weird. They don't seem to be surviving in a big clutch, but they just appear, and I just I'll pull Corys out, and all of a sudden you know I'll put six in, and when I go to fish them out, I'll pull like eight out, and there'll still be six in there. I guess it's a good problem to have. How's everybody doing? Woo! 446 pack, fake name. Hello, Aquatic Haven. Hello, thanks. You like my haircut? I'll show you more of it later if you guys are so inclined. The Ember Tetras are getting bigger. They're getting more colorful. I've been feeding them the flakes with the color enhancer. It's really just for orange fish. Carotene, beta carotene, and then the omegas is for all fish. Fatty acids help them with their colors. So that it does help a little bit. For making them look nice, flakes. The bummer part about this tank is that it is not with as long as these cories have been here, it will not carpet, and I think it's their fault. And even if it's not, I'm gonna blame them. So we've got the Venezuelas corridoras, and then we've got the panda cories, and you can see that the dwarf baby tears, there's some of that back in there, and that the Monte Carlo, it's all growing. It's under here when I uncover it with like a net or my hand or something. But it's just they keep eating it or covering like using their fins to dig around and root around and unrooting it. So I don't know. The other really good news going on in this tank while we're waiting for people to come on in, step inside, step inside. Um, the Logonandromy Boldeye Pink. You can kind of see the pink as terrible when it's on a live stream. Boy, I got that split, so I can give that to Alan. I've actually got it split twice, so I'm really excited about that. There's the third time over there. And then we've got the silver Logonandromy Boldeye growing there as well as there. And that powder silver is worth some money. Look at this little Cory. Where did he come from? Like, it's very odd to me. There's an even smaller one, though, than even this guy. I'm assuming the angels will soon be at an age where they'll be laying eggs. They're probably 6 months old now, at least, I would assume. Maybe even, yeah, probably 6 months to 8 months old, if I would have to guess. They've been growing very quickly and doing well. So this tank's doing well, obviously, which I'm happy to announce. Also, let's see, Goose Knot Maverick, how is it going? Fishy Slim, how's it going? Goose Knot Maverick, again, I'm doing well, sir. Chara Dreamer, oh, thanks. You like the thumbnail? I will show you something cool soon. And then Kevin Rosenberg, hello. And yeah, let's see. Um, so what else is going on in here? We've got the bulbitis that's growing really well, the Hedulata bulbitis. My star rotala that I got from Aquatic Arts, it looks beautiful, beautimous. Let's see, can we get the reflection off of it? Yeah, it looks really nice. And then the star, the what is it? Golden, what is it called? The golden or bronze Ludwigia strain is looking really good. Um, Other than that, it looks like we're still dealing with a little bit of blackbeard algae that's not really, it's not causing any problems per se, but it's happening, and I don't like that it's a happening. The fact that it's a happening. Also, I got some new Pleco Caves. If you can see, they're a little more discreet, I think. And the thing that I might change around in here too is one, I'll wait for a few of the angels to pair, and then I will move the others to another tank, the other three. And then I will probably get some pencil fish, some like Beck 40i red or striped pencil fish, maybe. And then I'm just really hoping for these longfin ancestris to mate, but I don't know when that'll happen. We've got the other cave hidden over here for them, and then yeah, so it's kind of hidden underneath that cholla wood. But they'll use stone just as much as the others. Oh, here's that baby Corey. What is he doing? Like, where did he come from? Why aren't there 30 of them? I'm just so confused. Like, how did he survive to that size and there's just one? I don't... Is that the odds? They just have one baby that survives? Where did he go? In any case, I find it weird that these panda cories just reproduce at a crazy rate. It's just a really intense rate of reproduction. I don't know. Also, my Rotala colorata looks really good right now. Stoked on that. The what is it? Pogometon, not Pogostemon. Pogometon, or Pogometon, gayi. That grass that I was trying to cultivate, I've been cutting it in half, replanting, cutting in half, replanting over and over again, and now I've got a pretty solid wall of it back there. It looks nice. I don't know if I'm gonna keep it. You guys can let me know what you think. But yeah, so I don't know if I'm gonna keep that. Also, the most underrated plant, people see it in low tech and they're like, "That's lame. I don't want it." But if you give it light and the right care, it's just phenomenal. Is Even in the live stream, it doesn't do it justice. But this plant here, the Kabamba furcata, is just beautiful. And this highlight, this twin star light, I know for sure there's a link to the twin star light in the description if anybody's wondering where to get it or whatnot. Yeah, and I must declare, if you find something on my links, I do. Oh, here's the little Corey. There he goes. If you guys buy something on a link, I end up getting like somewhere between 0.5% to a couple percent of their profit, but they list it at a normal price. Like I select the product if it's like wherever I bought it, basically through Amazon. So and vendors through Amazon. What substrate is this one? So this substrate is sand first, with some pea gravel, and then it's got a bag, 120-pound bag of the ADA Amazonia 2, which is like their lighter colored one, and less ammonia in it. And then we've got also the Fluval Stratum is in here too. And both those I waited a bit because they had to off-gas the ammonia and all that. But in this tank, we got a lot of weird plants that are just trying to survive. The Rotala Wallachia. We've got, this is a new one. This is, it's called a spleenwort fern. Haven't had it before. It looks like it's still melting, so we'll see what happens. But interesting plants. And then the Sao Paulo, that's going to be I'm glad that I've been able to split it up and it's still going strong. Same with the Red Star Ludwigia we'll show you from up top. The color probably looks better live. Yeah. And then next to that, we've got the Tiger Stripe Spiralis, which is doing really well in these tanks. Like it's grown I mean, I showed you guys the tissue cultures. It's going like crazy. I wish the Limnophilia would grow a little faster and a little more purple. But you know, I'll do what it does what it does. I do what I can do. I don't know. I haven't seen the shrimp in a while, so I'm wondering if somebody got wise to the shrimp and ate them. They were the longer than normal shrimp, and yeah, you see how my Rotala how my carpeted plants get ripped up is like by these guys. But yeah, so the shrimp, the algae eating Japanese shrimp, I haven't really seen them in a while, and yeah, that's a bummer, but such is life. All right, so we're going to take a look at one more aquarium, and we'll go downstairs, we'll start talking, we'll really start the episode. Over here, we've moved some of the plecos that survived the big die-off of the flesh-eating bacteria into here. They're doing good. That's my super red, my one super red. I don't even know what I'm doing with one super red. Sergio's still here. He needs to find a new home because he's just too big. I feel bad that he's in a 42 gallon or whatever this thing is exactly. It's a custom bow front, so it's over the 38 and a half. My Tiger L134s are doing phenomenally well, growing quickly. They're loving when I give them bloodworms or anything like that. Some of the other Pleco green dragons are growing in here too, just a couple. And that's what's in here that's new, I think. Other than that, this aquarium is super low tech right now. Super low tech. Let me try to pull out. There we go. So in this aquarium, there's almost nothing being done. There's no fertilizers being added. You can see there's a little bit of moss that has some filamentous algae, but the cribs as well as the angelfish pick at that, so I haven't worried too much because they seem, and for that matter, the albino barbs also seem to be doing their thing too. I'm going to switch the internet over so that hopefully we have different bandwidth than just the cell. So if I lose you guys, I'm sorry, but hopefully this thing keeps streaming and we get some better quality video. I also put one of the new Pleco Caves in here. They're too big though, so I'm going to have to get some sand or substrate to put in front of that Pleco cave, just so the leopard Plecos have a place to attempt to breed. I have 3 of them now that are this size of the one you see here. And there's the one, let's see where they're at. They might just be hidden somewhere. This guy's always sleeping here. The other ones are probably hidden back in the rocks, but there's one that's a full grown, and now he's just filling out, and he has fat belly. They're hard to sex the way you sex these, and these are from the Rio Negro as well as the Orinoco in Venezuela. And the way you can sex them is they have some like little bumps on their face, kind of like onodontodes, kind of like little feelers, but it's like a roughness on the side of their cheek on their face that they have that's slightly different. Also, this tank still has some cribs, but I am going to show you guys what I did downstairs. I moved the cribs. I listened to your advice, to the things that y'all said, and y'all said you wanted me to move some of the fish and set up new breeding habitats for nano fish, as well as show people how they can breed fish in their apartments or in, a studio or loft or whatever, a small space. So see, we have a pair of cribs still back in here. Where'd they go? That's the Pleco. Here's the cribs. They're back in there doing their little love thing. Frank White, how's it going? Nice to see you. The substrate in this tank is a mix of things. There's basically no actual. Our Pleco's showing his head. Maybe I'll be able to show you how you can sex these guys, because these are different than ancestris cirrhosis Plecos. They are right behind where the fin starts, or right in front of it, I should say, kind of between the eye and where the fin starts. There's texture there, and it should be smooth if it's a female, but it's bumpy if it's a male once they hit a certain size. So I believe this to be a male because I see that texture there. But it's a hard call. And since I have 3 of them, we're going to have to cross our fingers that the other ones end up being female. That would be great. But yeah, so this tank, super low tech. We've got the Aponegitans, the Bulbitis, Hedulata. We got the Hygrophila, the blue Hygrophila, the sunset Hygrophila, the melon sword, Prince Kleiner sword, the jungle Val, and then what else do we have in here? Some chain sword, some Swasser tank, some guppy grass, moss, and lots of different little floating pieces of Anubias and Boost that have just been kind of lodge places, as well as some Anubias, Cophifolia, and Frederi. But yeah, so that's what's going on here. And I managed to actually, so I got to disclose that these cribs here, there was a female that had babies. And I let her be for a little while. But now the babies, I checked on them day after day, and they were doing okay. And then the other day I checked on them, and all but 4 of the babies were gone. She had been stashing them up here, actually, up in this little kind of cave area. There's one way out here and one way out here. And, there's another one of this one's the youngest of my L134s, and he's kind of like a buttercream more than yellow. He, or she, I suppose, I don't know. It's pretty lazy. The other one's getting bold and will come out in the day, which is great. I love it. But yeah, it makes me so nervous that they hang out in between rock areas that thin. I just feel like, oh man, they're just one little shake of anything or an earthquake, and all my Plecos are going to get smushed in one movement. But yeah, I think I'm going to do a species profile on these guys soon. Rico Di Gallo, hello. Cichlid 23, hello. Um, Frank White, what's up? And I'm guessing the Angels ate the shrimp. Yeah, you're totally correct, I think. I think that is correct. That is correct. Then let's see here. What else? I think that's it. So now I can leave my wifey alone. And she doesn't want to be on film, so we're going to show her feet. Uh, hello, people. Um, so we're gonna go downstairs so she can watch Jerry Springer or whatever she's watching. What are you watching, honey? Top Chef. Sorry. But yeah, so I want to show you guys this before I show you the shit show that is my downstairs tanks. So let's head on downstairs. Sorry if you guys get dizzy. This is the Blair Witch. If I lose you, I will try to sign on again. This has been a notorious problem as I go down here. I've got a booster for my signal on right now. So hopefully we maintain. Ta-da! Okay, so the new setups. We used to have 20 longs in here, and we have a new setup in here, that this tank in here, and we're trying out some things. I'll probably be doing a little review comparison and maybe the history of filters. I want to do some more history videos soon. I feel like I've strayed from that just because there's been so many, like I got my new tank and then I got my this or that, and you know, it's ended up making it so I haven't focused on the name of the flippin' channel, the secret history behind things. But in here, let's see if we can get anybody to appear. In here, we should have both of a pair of cribs, yes. So we have in this 10-gallon, we have some cribs. And these guys were the ones who had the babies, and that were doing their thing. And hopefully they can do that again. I don't know. We'll see. And then I bet the male's probably behind the filter. But I'll show you the filter. It's kind of interesting. This is another filter type that I have. You can get these really inexpensively on Amazon for 20 bucks. You can get 4 or 5 of them. Also, you can see that the Battis fry are growing up. 2 males up here are trying to establish dominance in the filters, and they kind of do it each ledge, like one ledge at a time. So the guy on the very top is the biggest, and he's up top. And then there's some other ones hiding loosely around the other areas. That's going to be a female. Here's another guy that's probably going to be a male in here. But I was kind of surprised. I was able to pull 9 fry, and I had only seen 2 at a time ever. But I was able to just keep pulling fry and get 9 out of them. And then I also put my striped Blue Dreams. So these are all Blue Dreams from Lucas Bretz line that have thrown over the years that I've had breeding in my bee colony. And so some of them still end up pretty darn blue and normal, but you see the tail on her is dark. So anybody who has signs of being a Riley or really blue shrimp, I've been putting in here. I'll probably refine it longer or more so in the future, in that I think I'll just sell my bee string ones for a few dollars a piece, and then the ones that have the banding I really want, like this female's is really alluring to me. Plus she's got like cool markings on her face. Isn't she cool for a Caridina? She's got like or for a Neocaridina, she's got Caridina style markings. So I think that's cool. I think there's about 17 in here or so adults. Some just have less color in their midsection, but in the end you can see that ends up being that tail's dark, and that head and shoulder are also dark, where the rest is light. So then over here in this tank, we're going to take a look at the new filter. So this filter over here is interesting in that I've had one that looks just like this. And this guy here is just a double stack, and then at the top it actually encourages a nice current. It's got a little power head, and right now I'm able to run everything, including like my half beaks and my koi guppies. And there's another, you probably just see him right there. Oh, there he is right there, my scarlet baddis. I want to get some of the blue baddis soon. If anybody knows where to get blue baddis at a decent price, let me know where I could get both male and female, because it took me a lot of months of stalking different stores to finally find male and female scarlet baddis. But I've done it, and now I have a boatload of them. You know, I've got 8 in here with 1 male, 8 females with 1 male. They have not produced at all, even with all this moss and suwacertang and guppy grass and everything. I think the guppies eat them all. Whereas when I put them, in here, this is all subject to change, these tanks. But I stole some of the plants out of the little tank, and this room's a mess again right now, but don't worry. It'll be fixed. And then I've got some really tannin-rich, leaves. I got the catappa leaves in here, and then I also have the Mopani driftwood, and I'm expecting this thing to slime up, but it hasn't yet. So we'll see what happens. I thought it would be sliming up already, but it hasn't yet. So odd. Also, I put in some what all plants did I put? I put in some Ludwigia, some Taiwanese Nymphea, and then I also put in some red tiger lotus, some Ludwigia Repens super red, a little Kabamba furcata. This is under lower light and no high tech, and you see it's just kind of a boring green plant. And then we've also got the Bacopa strains. So that's what's going on in here. This is all new tank. I still haven't even peeled off the thing on the back. And then we've got the babies growing out in here. Some of them are getting to the size that they are going to go back up into another colony. Because the way I like to do things when you're limited on space, you don't have a huge fish room, I like to take the adults and move, like, I'll have 15 of the scarlet baddis hanging out in here. I'll move the 9 from here plus the other ones. And then I've even got more down here breeding. And then they were in here. And so what I do is then I select a tank that has no fish in it. And this tank's always dirty. I'm sorry, guys. It just is. And it's going to stay that way because it's full of baby shrimp. And they need the sides to be totally dirty. And that's just how it's going to be. But these are my A-grade strains of blue shrimp. And they just have like a little filter, a little air filter, catappa leaf. And this is where I fished all the little baby baddis out of. So the easiest way for me that I've found to get these small nano fish, especially shy ones like celestial pearls and rasboras and things like that, the easiest way to get them to spawn is to just have a tank full of shrimp and wait until you start seeing the little white dots, the little seed shrimp and the little buggers in here, little creatures in here. Hopefully you don't end up with just planaria and hydra, but once you start seeing the ecosystem of little seed shrimp and algae and even fungus is not the worst thing in the world as long as it's located in one area. And then that's when I will take a couple or a trio of the small fish, a male and a female, leave them in here for 2 weeks, pull them out, and the eggs literally, I don't check on them. I don't know if they had eggs or not. And I just start putting baby brine shrimp or vinegar eels in the water, and then know that they have food in other forms in the water, and just wait. And like right now, the shrimp, I didn't see any pregnant shrimp, but clearly someone had a bunch of babies. And then we've got more blue shrimp in here. This was my B grade shelter also. And so what I've begun doing now is I'm trying to get the shrimp out of here into this container, because I don't like the water quality in here at all. Like, it worries me. This tank is a total experiment here, guys. I'll tell you how it goes when I know how it went, but there is no filtration in here. This is just a tank with mulm. There's no air. It's just mulm and plants and lots of little scuds and copepods and shrimp, several shrimp species, but there is nothing in there, nothing in here other than a little heater to keep things going, really. So this is a total, like, I don't know what's going to happen tank situation. So I do know, though, that we have, if you look here, we've got the baddis, the scarlet baddis, and the striped crimson baddis. They're doing fine. Like, the females, they're all fine. Looks like we've got another shrimp up here that we can catch. And I'll be moving all these blue secondary shrimp up top eventually to that new one. And then I want to put a new type of shrimp in here, because I've done experiments, and once you get the water right, I know that this isn't true for a lot of people, but for me it has been, and it's advice that I honestly don't want to give anybody else. But all my shrimp are surviving just as easily without air stones, as long as they have bacteria to eat. This is the tank of the devastation that really got it bad too. We were able to save my stir-by that's really old. He's a big old stir-by. And there's also a Trilineatus cory in here that I was able to save, and a panda cory. Now, the sad news is that, so the guppies are clearly pregnant and fine. Actually, they're endlers. These are the Lucas Bretz tiger endlers with the blue and white highlights that I've bred in. Boy, she's so pregnant. And then there's actually still some shrimp in here. After all this, after all I did nuking this tank with meds and everything, the val all melted away, and now it's growing back already. Only 2 crypts in the whole tank survived. Even a Nubius and Java fern died. But they survived. The shrimp survived, oddly enough, the Caridina shrimp. And then over here, this tank, I'm going to answer some questions too. But over here, this tank is still doing its thing. I might be breeding something next over here. So I kind of want to move the half beaks over here and get rid of the rest of the guppies, move them, and the gold ring tin winnies. For a while I was breeding them, and I was really on a kick, and I was having fun with it, but I'm just kind of over them for the moment. And I don't know what I want to do exactly. The Pandagara in this tank has always had phenomenal color. Yellow and white and cream and just great color. Way better than the one that's living in the colony. My panda loaches, however, there are only 2 left. and I'm really sad to say that, but there's 2 left. They're in here, and that's that. They passed away from the Vibrio uh, issue. The other thing I might breed in with those cribs are these. Are the rocket killies or clown killies. I'd like to get some of them, see if I can breed them. I've had them breed in tanks like this, not so much intentionally, but like I put them in there knowing they're male and female and hoped, but they've just ended up breeding or not breeding, but mostly they'll breed and I'll find an extra fish and then I'll scoop it out and put it in another tank for a while to grow out and then bring it back with its parents. Here's more Kabamba furcata, that beautiful red Kabamba. This is another twin star. This is that twin star 24 rather than the 36. But yeah, and then this is what that grass upstairs looks like in lower light, even though it's still fairly high light. But I mean, this is what it looks like down in without ferts or CO2. Same with like the Ludwigia repens and stuff like that. Not purple or red at all, and it's just very compact. It's kind of interesting the difference that it makes. And then the Marimo mossball algae has gone from its ball and crawled all over the wood in these tanks, which is kind of interesting. So let me get the glare out of the way here a bit more if I can. But Mopani and Malaysian driftwood is covered in Marimo mossball, algae, and shrimp doing their thing. I would also like to start rebreeding again these guys, these Somfongzi rasboras. I bred a group of them for a while and then sold a bunch, and I kind of want to like try it again, like go for it again. That or possibly maybe the Phoenix rasboras, but they are so teeny. I mean, they're full grown. That's what you see right over there. So I don't know. And then this tank and that previous tank both need to be re-aquascaped, but they're healthy. Like the fish in here are doing fine. Everybody's good. I'll feed them in a minute. You'll see how voracious this tank is. See, I was able to save a couple more of those endlers in here. Diversified it. You know, they didn't have any signs of sickness. Plus, I was able to just kind of scoot them aside into one of my QT tanks down on the bottom shelf. And then just recently, the last few days, I've thrown them back in with other fish, assuming they don't have the Vibrio. They didn't catch it, and it'll be all right. So let me look at some of your questions. I apologize that I have not looked for a minute here. Oddball Aquatics, hey, better than television. I believe guppies and shrimp get along all right, but the shrimp fry might get eaten. Yep, that's exactly it. If you wonder which fish, which nano fish, or which fish can live with shrimp, I have videos on that exact topic. I have one that's like 10 fish you wouldn't expect, or 10 fish that pair well with shrimp. And that, you know, you have to know that any fish that has a mouth that can fit a baby shrimp in it, there's the potential there for it to eat it. That being said, are they going to be voracious about it or chase them around at all? That's the big difference. And I've got more videos too you can look up on shrimp hides, rock hides, plant hides like this moss. Like you could easily have endlers and guppies or mollies in here. In fact, I've got Honduran red point and danios, all sorts of really aggressive fish for their size, and the shrimp are still flourishing because of how much moss is in here. This is like a moss tank now. It's just taking over. The other fish I might want to breed are those those multi-bar loaches here. I've got these. This is a pair. That's the female there. You can see her belly has some eggs in it right now. I'm really fascinated by them. They're really shy. I know they need low pH to breed, to spawn. I don't know. We'll see what happens. But I would like to spawn them. I would also like to spawn these more of the Pantheri Danios because they're on the endangered species list. They've got stripes that are vertical, and so that's kind of interesting thing about them. And then they have uh, just different stuff. The other thing is I can put CO2. I've got a 20-pound CO2 tank over here that I haven't been using just because I have been running around dealing with other tanks and things, but I need to be putting CO2 back in here and make this more of a planted tank again. I just got a new bottle or a new bag of Fluval Stratum, and I think I've got a link to that in my profile also. But Fluval Stratum mixed with ADA, Amazonia 2 or light, either way, is exactly what I have used in all these tanks for my substrate. And then I've laid down, if it's a big tank, I do big rocks, then gravel. And if it's a little tank, I do pea gravel and then some sand, like coarse sand of different sizes. I would not go to Petco to buy your sand or your gravel. You can get a 50-pound bag for $4.99 of the gravel, of the pea gravel, and have it last you quite some time. Same with the sand. You can get, I think it's HTH sand. So here's more of those ever breeding, ever Energizer bunny. Oh, and there is the Honduran red point back there. He doesn't have his red point yet. He still just looks like a normal convict cichlid juvenile with blue and now he's getting really dark black on him. So that's going to be interesting. But we're going to feed him in a sec here. And just so you can see, look at all the shrimp hanging out in here. And they just know that the fish are too lazy to, like, go for them. But yeah, the convict cichlid, can we see him at all right now? I don't know. He's kind of elusive. When we feed, we'll see him probably. I don't know what to do with him. If I might take him and Sergio, honestly, and sell off or trade off, give away a bunch of the critters from here and make this more of a larger South American cichlidy tank. I love the nano breeding. I love having a tank that is, 15 gallons and breeding 6 different species in there. I've got the 3 kinds of shrimp breeding in there. I've got the Tinwini Danios breeding in there successfully. I have the guppies or endlers at a given time breeding in there usually. And then also you can have any sort of snail. And then I've got the erythromicron and CPDs in there doing quite well and also breeding from time to time. So, I like my... Oh, here he is. Here's the Honduran convict now. All right. So we'll feed them in a sec. Let me catch up on the comments. Let's see here. I've missed a lot. I'm sorry, guys. I'm a bad host. You can spank me. My birthday's coming up in a week, and you can get my spankings now. Alex, are autos famous for being not very hardy? I bought 4 of them in a fully cycled tank with some plants, and 2 have now died. I've had autos where I get them and they die quickly too, but usually if I have them and they survive the first week, they last forever in my tanks. So I don't know how to answer that, but I think that it might be the way they ship them. If you've ever gone online and watched them catching autosynclus, they literally pick them up and they have like little sucker mouths, right? And so they take the fish, and these women in the Amazon, They take the fish and they stick it with its mouth to the side of a plastic IKEA type tub, or something like this, and they just put like 1,000 on there, and then they'll fill up water in the center. But they're stressed out as all hell because of that. And then they go to their transfer shipment place, and who knows what happens there. So it could just be that, but I'm not sure. Maybe you can find out by just kind of asking the wisdom of the crowd. Um, the bright side is the mulm will feed the plants. Yes. Cichlid 23, Daniel keeping fish. Hey Alex 3am here, couldn't sleep, but lucky for me, I can catch a live stream. Yeah, well, right on, man. I appreciate it, fella. Michael Keith, 4.99. Keep it up. Thank you so much. That means a lot. That's the first super chat of the new year. Also, usually we would have done our aquatic arts fall, or I mean, winter, Christmas, Hanukkah, whatever you want to call it, New Year's giveaway. Well, this time we're gonna do it more in February. I've been alerted, and so we're holding off because you guys bought so much stuff on Black Friday that like every supplier in the Midwest and in Florida took a hit in a good way. I mean, like they need to order more stuff. So only right now, Aquatic Arts has some really cool fish right now. Look at how hard these guys hit. These Danios, having 6 species of Danios in a tank, they hit so hard. Sometimes they will actually come out of the water. It is a little nerve-wracking. I don't think they're that crazy today, but we'll see for a sec. We'll park it here and see if they splash. Gotta run. Thank you, Michael Keith. I really appreciate that. Dwarf hovering loach. Yeah, they have a bunch of names, but dwarf multi-barred or multi-lined loach is how I've seen them listed in the U.S. mostly. On the West Coast, I don't know though. Ever keep Sawassertang? I sure do, Kevin Rosenberg. Why don't you give that a look up on my channel? Look up Sawassertang. I have a video on the history of it, who discovered it, how it features into all sorts of interesting linguistic stuff, and yeah, I've got a whole video on it. But yeah, there's Sawassertang just mixed in all over in all my tanks. I can't get rid of it now at this point, which is fine. So see here, here's the 3-line Beckford pencil fish. I really love them. There used to be like 8 of them in here when I started the tank, granted, and they were already old then. They were somebody else's. I was gifted them. And then I was just told today that somebody's gifting me some Schwarzeye, baby Schwarzeye Corridoras, and I'm really excited about that. And I'm excited to see my my bettas start mating. And this guy, to get his big red-orange spot, he can already eat shrimp like there's no tomorrow, but luckily shrimp breed like there's no tomorrow. Aquatic Haven. Alex, I have a pair of 4-month-old angels that had babies but were eaten. I'm getting a 75-gallon this week and hope to see that they do it again. Any pointers? Yeah, totally, Aquatic Haven. I would say that angels and all cichlids in general, they just have a tough time the first time that they're parents. So I've never had a pair of angelfish that haven't eaten their babies the first time they tried. Usually it takes them the second time, maybe they eat a few, they let a few get eaten by other critters. But same with the cribs, same with Lake Tanganyika or Victorian cichlids. It just takes them some time because they start breeding at a pretty young age, honestly. But by the time they come into their own and they can have like 300 babies, they get it down. But the first few batches, the first 3 to 5 batches usually are only like 40 to 100 fish. I say only, that's a lot. And the eggs may rot or may not, and so forth. But that's just kind of how it is. So I would give them at least 3 tries before you think there's something wrong with it. They sell these little breeding things that look like traffic cones made out of terracotta. That can work, but more often than not, if an angels have paired off, if they've already laid eggs together, they're going to do it on any surface they can. Just keep feeding them high protein food, and that's going to do it. But you don't want to feed them like pure high protein, like just mealworms or just blackworms or whatever it may be. You want to do a mix because it can upset their stomach and everything. So, yeah. Have some chili raspberries, tiny, but man, they're voracious. Yeah, in with the jade green shrimp. I can't believe it, but I'm seeing little baby shrimp, little secret agent, good at hiding babies. Yeah, totally. Cunning stunts. I've had the same thing happen where some shrimp are just destined to have babies and they survive. It's interesting. Uh, have I ever used fluval stratum with soil underlay? Yes, I've done it outside. I've done it for my CPD and Danio tanks last year, and it worked fine. You just want to make sure that you're doing the water changes. I actually like a sand cap better, and then you can plant it and put sand over it and even shake more sand, and it kind of seals everything in there. But definitely get Malaysian trumpet snails if that's the case, or something that's going to churn up that substrate. You know, that's where it's at. Uh, let's see here. Aquatic nests. Hello. Um, Aquatic Haven, $3 super chat. Thank you so much. I appreciate it right now. I can definitely use it rebuilding this room. I talked to Aquatic Arts. Other than like shipping and whatnot, it should be, I think I'll be getting a 50% discount on any fish that I lost of theirs, which is really cool. I mean, it wasn't their fault at all. But I like that. And so I should order some new fishies. Violet Alpha, hello. Yeah. The other thing, autos, I love marble autosynclus, and I really want to get some and try to breed them. In fact, that may be something I would breed with these cribs. We'll see. 10-gallon is pushing it in my mind for breeding cribs. That being said, I put cribs for a week in a 5-gallon that I was constantly doing water changes on, and they had babies. So go figure, whatever. The wonder of nature never ceases to amaze moi. Let's see who's going on. Who's going on up here? The half beaks are starting to get some nice colorful tails, little flags. They are live bears, believe it or not. They're funky looking, weird live bears with blue eyes. And this tank, I could use some input. I feel like I kind of want to take this tank and consolidate all of those koi guppies up in here, and then take the half beaks and put them in a rack with these guys. I don't know. I'm not sure. And then this tank I'm going to clean out completely. I'm going to get the other baddest out of here. There's like 10 baddest more in there. And now this is my biggest struggle, is that yes, I have these endlers and they need to go somewhere. I know that. That's not mixed. So do I dare put them in here and clean the other endlers out? Or do I just leave this be, let it be medicated and have been cleared and hope for the best that it works? Or do I totally rip this out and like I've been wanting to do, even though they're expensive? They're like 15 plus tax in Seattle, so they're like, I don't know, 17, 20 or something like that to get these 5 gallons. But I could do 4 5 gallons, and honestly, I could do like the half beaks in one. Like I could do a species only. I just have to stay on top of the water changes. That's the main thing. Um, but yeah, put a pair of cribs in a Dr. Pepper bottle and they'll breed. Yeah, pretty much, man. Pretty much that is the case. The bummer thing that happened, I recorded an update video on the panda loaches and everything. The bummer video that happened, this heater is off right now. And this water is at 78% because this floor is at 78 degrees because the neighbor's heat comes up from their fireplace, which would be in the corner there, if compared. And it heated up my panda loaches to the point where they can't be that warm. They will die, clearly. And so the panda loaches have had, they got ick, which I thought was odd at 80 degrees. There is a panda loach here, I forgot to mention, who has, I put him counterintuitively back up into the Vibrio tank because he was covered in ick and ulcers. Now he has recovered. This water is 82 degrees and he's doing okay. So I'm going to leave him in there another few days and then I might put him back because I love my panda loaches. But I'm going to have a burial for them. There are the other 4 or 5 in there that need a burial. So let's feed a couple things. Let's do a couple things. Hold on, guys. Sorry about the shakiness. I'll apologize profusely. Excusely. The Deucely. With Bruce Lee. I feel like I haven't been putting together. I feel like a jerk because I've still been doing research and I've been researching what kind of fish are in both the inlay drainage basin. So that is in Burma and Thailand, essentially. And I've been doing all this stuff for like 6 months on that. And I've yet to make it into a video. There are so many fish that I don't know what to talk about. Like it's a legitimate problem that I don't know what to talk about first in that context. Then also same thing with the Orinoco Delta. Like that is a incredible ecosystem biosphere that I love. It has over 990 recognized traded aquatic species there, and yet it's like it's hard to list them all, and like some are kind of obscure, like pacus. Like no one in their right mind at home should have a pacu. Just getting the fish food oil off. I already washed my hands before the super chat. And the other thing is that if it wasn't contaminated before, or I mean, if it's all contaminated now. That's the sorry guys, I know you're getting dizzy. That's the moral of the story. Then I'm going to use this aquarium co-op fry food to feed the little tanks and the little guys who don't always get a hold of the flake food, like these little Batis. I think I've kind of mastered the Batis. Also the half beaks, they like to try to eat the flake food, but they can't. So they have to eat this teeny tiny little foods. But here's like a female. and I might try to get a female. There's another female down here, and one over there, and then here's a male. And I might try to get the male. I think I might try to get the male and female into a tank. And I think I can get away with a 5-gallon tank yet again. So I'm just torn, like, do I want all these 5-gallon tanks for breeding projects, or what? What am I doing? I don't know, guys. Help me. All right, let's see here. Let's get out of here and go back upstairs. Feed those fish. How large of shrimp colony can you have in a 5-gallon tank? How large can I have? The average person have, or like Chris Lukop have? If you're good, you know what you're doing. Back to your AE, you can read your tank and you know how it's doing, and you're not over pushing it. You're not over changing water and all that. I've had 200 shrimp easily in a 5-gallon. On the other end of that, I would say for your average person, 50 to 70 neocaridina would be ideal as your upper limit. These guys deserve some bloodworms or something fancy. I want to get some Synodontis cats for this tank too. More, that is. I have Synodontis mustard cats in this tank, and I'm going to move them because they never come out. But this tank, the angelfish now get that all this stuff circulates around. It looks like I just fed them a ton of food. But you have to remember, I have 30 of the Ember Tetras. I have now 12 plus of these Corridora pandas, and then 8 of the Venezuelas, plus the 4 Plecos. So that's the scoop. Although I haven't seen, where are my other Plecos? Are they nesting in here? Maybe they might be in the other tube. Because I haven't seen my bright yellow Plecos in a minute now, and we'll see if they come out for feeding in a sec here. It always makes me nervous. Oh yeah, there's one right there. Okay, I feel less nervous now when I don't see my famous orange ones. They're so orange. They're so lemony. I don't know. I haven't ever found one even close for sale anywhere to the orangeness that I get out of them. And it's not like a super red where you get this kind of mottled, dusty, oh, of course he runs away, color on him. Let's see here. Feed them one more time, and then we'll finish things up. I really want to thank you guys for the super chats. I want to thank you guys for 3 awesome years on YouTube. I also want to try to get back to history videos, like I said, even if they're silly. I've been doing a lot of research on how angelfish were discovered, and I was really interested in doing colonial expeditions. So there was a wave in 1880, 1870 of just incredible colonial zeal to go out and name every fish in any of the territories in South America and Africa that they owned. And then the same thing happened again as they were relinquishing their colonies. They decided that they wanted to totally know what's there before they head out the door, so to speak. Also, those cribs downstairs, by the way, these are also the same generation, but they are a hybrid of 3 kinds now. So this is the 4th generation of my project, and it was Pulcher, which are the biggest ones, and they have the most red, but the least patterning, in my opinion, and the most boring patterning. But they're big, like this male is big, like up to 5-6 inches in theory. And then the Bapindis, which have a nice big pot belly on the females, They're red, and then they have some dots. And then the Nigerian reds, which have that belly that is just super, super red. And you'll see that on these males, or females, sorry. You'll see that purple just sphere of a belly. So I really like the hybridization that I came up with. I really like that this guy's out tonight. You guys are getting an awesome treat on this. Let's see here. Suggestions: 4 lights on a budget for a new 75-gallon. If you could swing it, I don't know how low your budget is, but I really do love Fluval 3.0. You're going to be paying like 160 or 180, I think. But that is a great light. It has a timer built in, so that saves you 30 or 40 bucks possibly. It has light and day. You can control the different times of day. You can have, like, I want light at 30% red and 20% blue. So it's great for plants if you decide to get into plants later. And then it is controlled by your phone, so you can turn things off. You can set timers. You can download pre-arranged light settings. If you don't like how warm or cool the lights are, then you can switch it all up, which is really fun. If you can't do that, but you want a higher power light, I would go for these, which are CanSun or GoSun. They come in both names. Floodlights. I get them online. I've had these ones running strong for 3 years now, and they get very hot. You're supposed to suspend them. You can also get pendant versions of them in 90 watts and 120 watts. These are 30 watts, and so check out, I don't know, this corner. When I shine the light in it, it is very illuminated. And these are around $30 a piece. But they do get warm, and you have to figure out how you're going to hang them. But they will go deep into a tank like a 75. So as long as it has Cree LEDs, you can get some of the Chinese knockoff GoSun, CanSun, whatever the heck they want to call their brand, stuff for really cheap. Yes, I love this angel too. Sergey's great. He killed 3 other angels, though. That's why he has blood red eyes, I think. But yeah, let's see here. Thanks again, too, guys. We're almost at the 10,000 viewer mark. When we get to that point, then we are able to post merchandise or just pictures of the day, just stuff like that below. It also frees up some new things I can do in giving you guys icons, I think, and like just, I don't know, silly stuff, right? But it'll be a big benchmark, and if you guys can help me get to 10,000 subs, I mean, it's been 3 years, it's been a steady grind for me, but if you could help get me to 10,000 subs by go back, share your favorite video, if I've earned it. If I haven't and you're just casually viewing, no fear, don't worry about it, just enjoy yourself. But if you watch a lot and that you like what I do, you want to encourage me doing the history videos and breeding new things and touring new places, going to places like Florida again, or South America, places like that. Yeah, let's try to grow the channel, and whether it's sharing or just suggesting to a friend, or somebody says, hey, I have a problem with my shrimp colony is just not growing, send them the video that I have on shrimp hides, or go back and feel free to watch some of my videos that maybe they only have 300 views, but I worked really hard, like women in the early aquatic hobby. They were pivotal. There's one woman who basically started the entire hobby of freshwater aquariums. Actually, she started with snails and sea cucumbers and all sorts of oddball stuff. But yes, so I think Those stories I'd like to tell. Granted, those stories don't do on video, so I do like to keep up with my updates because this is also a journal for me. It's also I love to help you guys when I can, when I feel like I can give you guys input. And Aquatic Haven, that is very, very nice. Thank you. That's very, very sweet. So yeah, C23, Corey, is that what you're talking about, Dan? Because I love those. At least you don't have to water aquarium plants. Kind of. I mean, yeah, that's true, but I do have to lug gallons and gallons because my Python won't work with the water pressure in my house. So in Seattle, it's really crazy. So like rent is like $2,000 to $3,000 in most of the area. For like a 2 bedroom apartment or a 1 bedroom with a extra room for a den or something. Um, and we had a screaming good deal because my wife's been here for 12 years. Well, now like what everyone pays in the heart of the city, uh, a mortgage is going to be cheaper. Honestly, it's just a weird fluke of our crazy housing market. So my wife and I are looking actively in the Seattle area, in a 40-minute radius of Seattle, but actively, I mean, in theory, we could take a look at Florida or Ohio or wherever also, because our money would go so much farther there. You could get double the house for half the money, so it's like a double value. It's houses in my neighborhood average at like 850,000. The city averages at 750,000, and we're not in that price range. But we do want to come up with a mortgage that's around 2 grand a month, and get ourselves a nice little house for that. And so we're looking, and my wife and I are just joking about the fish room. Which room is the fish room? We went to some open houses today, so that's exciting. But between that and then finishing up the dental stuff, we're definitely on a budget, but for good reasons, for good things. It's not like we're broke and need help, sort of thing. So anything you guys give, or views, likes, shares, it goes back to the channel. It goes into buying stuff that's fish related or traveling or gear. I still want to get a DSLR camera for this, and a GoPro, and then that way I'd have several scenes. I could do more time-lapse stuff. That's kind of the next thing. And also, I want to do more videos where my Patreons that do $20 a month or whatever, or $10 a month, you guys get a say. You guys pick the topic, and I will do the video for you that month, or that week, whatnot. So I think if you thought about supporting the channel, maybe check out the Patreon, check out my artwork. I don't want anything for free. That's for sure. I mean, I at least hope I give you advice or help if you did a super chat or something. But if not, like I want to work for anything that you guys feel like giving me. So thank you so much for those of you who support me in so many ways. It really means a lot to me. Corsair, hello, better than television. Of course it is. 2K a month here would buy some ridiculous house. 3 bedroom, 2 bedroom house with a 2-car garage, 5 acre lot, half-acre lot, and roughly 200K on the higher end for new construction. Goose Not Maverick, yeah, I know. This city, let me show you something crazy. So I got to get off here soon because I got to take my wife to a David Bowie cover band concert. But this house right here, which is a 3 bedroom house built in 1909, it's a Craftsman ordered from Sears. That house sold for $990,000 last year. That house right there is a duplex. It's a brick duplex from 1948, and it's a 2 bedroom, teeny 1 bathroom, teeny kitchen with like a breakfast nook, and then a 1-car garage, and that's their yard, is half of that fenced in area to that archway to the fence, and that sold for $790,000. Seattle has gone insane what they're paying. This house here, this blue house, it went for $1.3 million, but it's like 3,000 square feet and it has a view of the water. But still, it's just mind-blowing what things are going for. You know, we're in this apartment here and we have a good amount of space, but mind-blowing, right, guys? So it's insane. And the jobs, I mean, they do pay better if you're in the tech industry, but they don't if you're just anyone else. They pay about the same. So our minimum wage, though, is $15. They did move that up at least. All right, enough with economics. That 990K house would be 35K where I live. UG Aquatics. Yeah, I know. Where exactly do you live, UG Aquatics? Like what town? Or city or village? Man, the rent is too damn high. I rent a house for $600. Cunning Stunts, where's that at? Yeah, the view is cool here. For those of you who watch the channel, you've seen the view in the daytime. There are mountains out there and water, and then there's a shipping canal here. It is pretty cool, but we have to be on our porch to get it. Elk County, Pennsylvania. All right, yeah. See, I mean, Washington, you have to get like a good hour and a half from either from Seattle to get anything in that range. But even like out in the middle of nowhere in Washington, houses are going for like $350 at the lowest low, all the way up to $600,000. If it's new construction, $600,000. Yeah. Also, the house, last one, and then I gotta go. I gotta take my wife. But the last one, let's see if their lights are on. Yeah. So there's this big mansion up here, and it's 5,000 square feet and 6 bedrooms. But that one went for 1.9, and it has a view and spot for 1 car to park and no yard. It's got a gym in the basement though. Yeah, it's pretty crazy. We've been looking for like, you know, a 350,000 fixer upper from 1950 with 2 bedrooms. You know, that's what you can find, and that's like a half an hour farther out from the city. All right, guys. I hope you guys are doing well. Thanks for spending some time with me tonight. Animal lover, hello, my dear. Animal lover, where are you living, by the way? All right, guys, I got to get out of here. Got to get my wife to the bar on time. You guys rock. I'll try to do another live stream soon since I've kind of slacked. I didn't do one in a week and a half. And then all the updates were real bummers. So I've got some reviews on those little filters now that I've been using them. I knew how they would work in general. I've had other variations of them, but I just wanted to find some of the cheapest of the cheap stuff that works just as good as the $100, $50 stuff. Those are my favorite finds, you know, when you find a filter that's $8.99 that works just as good as a hang off the back that's $79 or something, you know. All right, guys, thanks again. This angelfish is so silly. He goes all the way on his side to get through that grass. All right, guys, take it easy. Thank you so much. Thank you for the super chats tonight. You're too kind. You're too kind. We'll do another live stream. I might actually be getting rid of some of my fish. And, of course, my patrons are going to be able to get first dibs. Like when I mentioned that I might be getting rid of some of those rare Danios or some of the koi Endler guppies or koi guppies. If you live in my area, that means like it's a no-brainer you get them. But if I have to ship them, it's a little more of a pain, but it may still happen too. All right, guys, I will talk to you later. You have a wonderful night. Take care of the critters around you, the critters you care for, the plants you care for, and of course, take care of yourself, or you can't do the first two. And if we all do half of that, I think the world will be twice as good. Okay, guys, take it easy, swim on, and I just want you to know that the trolls got to me and I chopped off all my hair. No, I'm just kidding. My wife got to me. Scissors got to me. And the first cut was shunk. All right. But that's okay. Hair grows back. She says it wasn't my fault. I thought you didn't want to be in this video, honey. Do you have something to say, dear? No, she has nothing to say. All right, guys. Well, I will talk to you L8R and check out the links below. Also, if you're doing some just random shopping on Amazon and you want to help me out, get there through the links below because I get a plug. Even if you buy I don't know, freaking drill or a chinchilla. They don't sell chinchillas. A chia pet. If you clicked on there and got to Amazon through me, I get like a penny or something. So, that's a big up tip for any of you guys who like to support your YouTubers. Click on Amazon through them or Target or Walmart or whoever they have a link to. I try to always find independent people listing stuff on Amazon, like me. Like that's how I do my coloring books and my artwork. Is I'll do it on Amazon, but I'm the one listing it. They take $7 or whatever, and then I get 15 and the thing sells for 25 with shipping, something along those lines. But that way it's an independent seller and it's the best price. So I'm not going to put anything up there that's not the best price I can find for you. So all right, guys, that's enough mumble jumble, and I will talk to you later. In the comments, leave me a note on what you think I should breed next. If you care if I breed stuff, or if you like digging the plants more and the aquascaping, I should just get another 20 long and make that, just like trick that out, or what the deal is. Have a good night. Bye.